Hello everyone, welcome to Pig Farming Academy. My name is Zugu Williams Ifena, and in today's video I'm going to share with you the 10 costly mistakes that most pig farmers make that prevents them from becoming profitable. So make sure you stay tuned to grab this information. Over my years of experience in the pig farming world, I've got to understand that there are certain avoidable mistakes that most pig farmers make, and this mistake is not just something you make and get away with. It's something that you make and it comes with consequences, and these consequences are what prevents them from actually benefiting from their hard work. They can actually work and toil over the years trying to become profitable, but once they keep on repeating these mistakes, it makes them not to become profitable. So I'm going to share these mistakes, and not just these mistakes, I'm going to tell you ways by which you can avoid them. So I want you to do something for me. I want you to stay tuned to this video, watch with rapt attention, so that you can be able to grab the details of the solutions that I'm going to offer to you. Okay, the first mistake on the list is starting pig farming business without the proper knowledge. Years back, after my WAEC period, that was the period I started my pig farming journey. I told you guys in the previous video. Before I started this journey, I understood that the first thing I needed to get was proper education, proper knowledge of these animals, because pig farming is a complex world. It's not a random village business. It's a complex world of agriculture. It has deeper aspects. So one thing I understood was, if I need to succeed in this business, I need to get the right education, proper knowledge. I needed to get the proper knowledge. So as little as I was, as young as I was, I had to go over to a pig farmer. Not just educational knowledge. Yes, I did animal husbandry. I smashed it in my way, but that was not enough. I needed practical experience. I had to go to a fellow pig farmer. I worked there for some period, about 3-4 months, by which I was grabbing physical knowledge, physical education. So once you understand that knowledge is what will enable you to understand certain principles that will enable you to avoid these mistakes, you will not joke with it. Most pig farmers just jump into pig farming just because, they heard that someone made so much profit from it. Because they heard that pig farming is prolific, that pig farming is, they grow fast, they multiply fast, that they are marketable. All those things, yes, they are true. But if you don't understand that these profits that you hear people make from it came as a result of proper application of this knowledge, you will not become profitable. So you, as an intending pig farmer, I'm going to give you one advice. If you want to start up pig farming, please, 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 go for a physical education. Go to a nearby farm, practice, learn what they do, learn that their feeding method, learn it. Education, knowledge is the power. When it comes to the selection of rightful breed, when it comes to the feeding, when it comes to the drug, you need to learn and master these aspects. So getting the proper knowledge is going to set you miles ahead than someone that just jumped into the business, built the pens, got the breeds. Oh, no, 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 no. If you want to get successful in this pig farming journey, please get the proper knowledge. As young as I was, I had to go to a nearby pig farmer. I worked there for some time. I was grabbing the knowledge from the man, before I was able to go out to now set up my own farm. This was because I understood that knowledge is going to avoid you a lot of mistakes. Knowledge is one of the things that most people neglect. They avoid it. I'm going to emphasize much on this because I know the importance of getting this before you go into pig farming. Don't just jump into pig farming because of what you hear. No, do your proper research. Get experienced first before you go into it. Okay. So I'm going to be going over to the second mistake. Then, after getting the knowledge, then here comes another important aspect: selecting the right breed, the healthy stock. Most pig farmers, they end up buying unhealthy stock because they are inexperienced. Like, once you get the knowledge aspects right, of course you definitely know that you need to get a healthy stock. If you want your farm to, if you want to know that kind of example they give, that a house is as good as its foundation. If you set up a strong foundation by getting a healthy stock for your farm, you have given yourself the base by which you can take off. Or if you do it the reverse by building a cranky foundation, I'm going to tell you that the building will collapse. That is just how it is in pig farming. Before you start off the pig farming journey, after getting the knowledge, when it now comes to the stock production, the stock buying, make sure you buy healthy stocks. Make sure you what? Buy healthy stocks. They are very active behavior. Check from the parents, check from the parent line, the good appetites. All these things are characteristics that you can use to determine the healthy stock. Please do not make the mistake of buying a stock that you end up regretting. Take your time. Do not be in a hurry to start up the business that you jump into what you don't like. Check for the characteristics. Jump and then get the healthy stock. Okay. Then here comes the aspect again that makes me laugh anytime I remember it. This is the housing aspect. Most pig farmers make mistake in the housing system. Yes, I understand that housing construction in pig farming, as much as they say it's cheap, it's not really cheap. It's quite expensive based on the current situation of the economy. But at the same time, there are things that you need to consider if you want to have a successful pig farm. One, ventilation. Tray, the drainage system. You see this drainage system, I don't know how to emphasize on it enough that you understand me. Like I said, one, the ventilation. The second one is the drainage system. The third one is what I call the space requirement. But I will emphasize much on this drainage system and the space requirements, as we all know what ventilation is. Because yes, of course, the pen should be well ventilated. Yeah, it should be well ventilated. As much as certain stages of pigs, like the piglets, require a little bit warmth, ventilation is still a necessity. Okay, so when it comes to this drainage system, if you want your animals to stay away from diseases, if you want diseases to stay away from your animals, the proper drainage system can enable you, it can help you, it can aid you to scare away some of these disease causing agents, transmitting vectors, some of these vectors. So when you're constructing a pig farm, there are certain things that needs to be put into consideration. The slope of the floor, the gutters that would help you to remove the urinary matters, fecal matters. All these things are necessary. They're very important. So don't just get into the design without consulting people that have already done it successfully. Okay, they will guide you. That is why I mentioned knowledge, seeking knowledge in the beginning, because I understand that when you get knowledge right, you definitely know most of these things. So getting the proper drainage system is going to set you on a proper line. It's going to set you on a proper line. Because when the vectors can't easily get into your pens because of the proper drainage, of course your pigs wouldn't fall sick. Yes, they might fall sometimes, but they will not fall sick as often as it could have been if the drainage system was poor. So get a proper drainage. Then the third one, which is space requirements. Most pig farmers make this mistake. I can understand, because they'll be like, oh, um I don't have enough space for my animals, I just have to compact them together. No, that's why I always mention capacity. Capacity. It's better you raise 20 pigs effectively than for you to have 100 unhealthy pigs. You can see this my pig room now. You can see as wide as it is. I have like 4 or 5 pigs that normally stay there. The room is very wide, and that enables them to move around very well. That enables them to move around very well and exercise. They don't even fall sick. My animals don't fall sick. Once you understand the space factor, I call it, like, you call it the space requirement, or you call it the stocking ratio. I don't overcrowd my animals. I don't overcrowd my animals, because when you overcrowd your animals, you are giving room for heat, for pathogens to grow. When you overcrowd the animals, you're giving room for pathogens to grow, and when these pathogens grow, they can infect your animals, and then that will just start. Disease will just start infecting your animals. From there, the carcass will start dropping, mortality here and there, everything, you lose everything. That is why I always say it's better you raise 20 peas than to raise 100 peas. You can argue in the comment section on that. Okay, but it's a necessity, requirement. Okay, For you to start up a pig farm, ask yourself, how much do I have? Can I actually, okay, let me say you built 3 pens. I'm going to bring it down to a low economic ratio, okay? Let's say you are able to build 3 pens, 3 moderate pens, 3 moderate rooms, yes? Don't have the mindset of being greedy, that you go and buy all the whole piglets in the world and start up. No, you can decide to, okay, I have 3 pens. Let me buy 2 sows, pregnant sows, for instance. Keep one in this room, keep one in this room. Then maybe buy males and then keep in the third room, whereby those males can be sold off once they grow. Then that means it normally takes 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days for sows to farrow. So when the 2 sows farrow, when they farrow, by the time it takes them that month, my males would have grown up. Of course, I would sell some of them off. Then when I win the other ones, I can then get more rooms. Then you need to also put into consideration extension of your pen. In next video, I'm going to talk about reality, because yes, most of these things we say in the real world, things are quite expensive. To even get a land to build your farm is a wahala. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to break down how to go about it, how to go about it in Nigeria. Okay, so when you understand that pig farming is a growing business, that you can start with 3 rooms, and at the end of the day you already have like 20 rooms. When I started, I had like 3 large rooms with a fourth third small room where I keep the male I use in mating them. But now I've extended into 5 more rooms, 5 more wide rooms. That is growth. Pig farming is a scaling up business. So when you start small, you keep on growing, you keep on growing, you keep on growing. You don't have to always start big unless you have the capital to grow those pigs, to build the accommodation and everything. So that is one of the mistakes that pig farmers make. I'll go again: the ventilation, the drainage, the space requirements. So I've mentioned the second and the third mistakes, right? So I'll be going over to the fourth mistake. Please make sure you stay tuned. But before I continue with the fourth mistake, I would like to inform you guys about something that has been brewing up. I told you guys I've been working on a video titled, on a book titled the Pig Farmer's Journey, right? Which contains my life experiences in the pig farming world, from the moment from my primary education after my WAEC to the period I started pig farming, then up to this one very moment. All that I experienced, what made me to be able to start pig farming at a very young age, and all the challenges I faced, everything. This book has everything. And equally the drug ratio, the feed I make use of, that makes me to be able to turn into profit. Okay. So in this book, that's all the details you need. So in case you need a guide, I can assure you that this book is what you need. So I'll be dropping the link to this book in the description box of this video. Please make sure you go and get it. Go and get it, okay? It's very, very important. I will probably drop my WhatsApp number also: 080-588-11642. So in case you want to message me on WhatsApp, message me and get the book, okay? Thank you very much. Let's go over to the next mistake, which is the fourth mistake. So when it comes to this fourth mistake, I normally call it, is it really avoidable actually? But it's something that if you implement very well to benefit your farm, this is something you can do. Just that you're always ignorant in this respect. It's called biosecurity. Ignorance to what? Biosecurity. Many people don't understand what biosecurity is. I will explain. Most times, yes, those abattoirs, those people that kill pigs in the market, you just call them to your farm, because pig farming is pigs are very marketable. You don't need to carry your pigs to the abattoir. No, you just call them on phone. Hello, I have a pig to sell. How many do you have? I have like 10. How much are you selling for? When you come, we discuss. Person comes to your farm without even, the person will pay for their transport and come to your farm. You guys haggle for the price: 100k, 200k, 500k. They won. At the end of the day, end up selling for 5 million or whatever. Then they carry the pigs off. Then during that process, they probably have to enter the farm and do everything. But mind you, they came from what? The market, where they killed so many animals from different locations, and these animals could actually carry some pathogens. So when you call them, they came with the same body, the same, I won't say dirty, but the same body that they were using operate in the market. They came with the same body to your own location, to your own farm. New pathogens are something you cannot see. You cannot see them, but they have dropped off some pathogens, either from their slippers, from their hands, even from their presence alone. So once you understand that visitors should be checked, what I normally do, sometimes you provide a bait system, a food dip system. Yes, it might not necessarily curb it completely, but it's a means of, it's a resistance to this bio diseases. Okay, so once you understand that you shouldn't just invite anyone to your farm, it's going to play a very huge role in your farm. Also, aside from visitors, once you get a new stock, the previous video I talked about inbreeding, where I advised you guys to always get new stocks once in a while into your farm. But while getting this new stock, let's say I want to mate my sow, and along the line I'll be like, okay, let me go to this guy's farm and get a boa, let me say boa that's like 9 months old. Yes, when I get the boa, I would not immediately put it into my sow's pen. No, how I do it is that I will separate the boa into a special room that I call the isolation room. Remember I told you guys I built a stored room that time. The stored room is just a lengthy small space where I just keep the male sows. I'll keep them there and then get to watch them. During that process, I'll have to deworm it. The quarantine period, that's what I normally do it. Like sometimes 1 week thereabouts. I will have to deworm it, give it certain drugs, and then equally use disinfectants to make sure that I don't introduce this animal with diseases into my sow. Because one thing about diseases is that once it kicks in, it will spread out. It will spread out. All these practices are what has enabled me, like in my farm area, many people might be complaining about swine fever, swine death, African swine disease, this. I'll be like, are you serious? Because I haven't experienced such, and I believe it's as a result of these precautions that I put here and there. So please, 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 make sure you take biosecurity seriously. It's not something you should play about as a pig farmer. It's something that is very, very delicate. Okay, so guys, let's go over to the fifth mistake that most pig farmers make, which I call the feed wastage. No, beginner pig farmers or even some experienced ones do not understand that feeding amounts to almost 70 to 80% of the cost of feeding pigs, of growing pigs, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you need to understand certain feed saving tips I'm going to give to you. Like I said previously in my other videos, for me to be able to maximize my profits, I need to formulate some strategies that enabled me to reduce the cost of feeding my animals. Let me share one of the strategies. The first one is, when my pigs produce droppings, right? I don't just use them to grow crops. Listen. I have to keep them in a very good environment where that can help them, that can help the manure to grow maggots. When these maggots are being produced, I extract them. When I extract these maggots, I then wash them, preserve them, dry them, which I use in feeding my fish. Not all of them. I only use them in feeding my pigs because it's also a very good source of protein to them. Doing this is just one of the ways by which I reduce the cost of feeding my pigs. You don't have to always get everything from the market. Otherwise, you will spend all the profits that you make from this pig farming business in feeding them back again. You need to understand that agriculture is a cycle. Cycle. More like agriculture, just see agriculture as water cycle. Understand water cycle, yes? Convection from the river, it goes to radiation, all those things. You need to understand that agriculture is a cycle. From here it goes to here, from here it goes to here, it comes back again to that point, then it starts again. So from the pigs you get the manure, from the manure you get the maggots, from the maggots, which is protein, you feed your fish, then from the same maggot again you feed your pigs, you add to your pigs as a source of protein. Then from my fish again I get the fish manure, which is the water, which I use in growing crops, that I now use to equally make animal feed. Crops like cassava, maize, water leaf, pawpaw, mention them. A lot of crops that can help you to reduce the cost of feeding your animals. That is why I always say that agriculture is one of the most undermined aspects, especially in Africa or Nigeria. Agriculture is self-sufficient. From what you get from here, you can equally use it to get something here, by which you can equally use it to equally support this one. It's a cycle. Just understand the principle. So once you understand this aspect of avoiding this food wastage by applying this principle I just taught now, you'll be able to maximize the profit you will make in this business. So guys, that is the fifth mistake that most people must make: food wastage. Not understanding how to reduce their feed. I only spoke about so many other aspects of reducing your feed costs in my book, because I told you that my book is a life journey, is a true life story of what I actually practice in my farm. It is not just a normal technical manual that most people just write about from online and all those things. No, it's a story, even from the experiences I had in my farm, how diseases came and how I treated them, how I sold, how I started from childhood, from after WAEC, all those things I explained them more like how they happened in my life. That is what makes the book special. So make sure you grab it and learn all these other principles, okay? So guys, let's go over to the sixth mistake. You see, this sixth mistake is what I call the breeding mistake: poor breeding decisions. Now, when it comes to the breeding aspect, there are so many things involved. I understand it's complex. That is why most pig farmers don't actually understand what this is. Something like inbreeding. Breeding a sow too early using an unhealthy boar. These are things that makes pig farmers not to get the result they actually desire in their farm. Especially that aspect of inbreeding. I was going through Twitter, scrolling through Facebook. Yeah, was it last week or yesterday? I can't remember. A woman complained that she's beginning to see a deteriorating effect of the offsprings of her sow that looks very healthy. She was now asking, could this be a result of inbreeding? Like I always say, inbreeding has a lot of consequences. Those consequences you might not necessarily see them at the moment. It's something that compounds. It compounds, then it begins to strike small. You begin to see weak litters, small litters, and all these things which will reduce how much you will grow in the pig farming industry. That is why I always tell you to avoid inbreeding, avoid meeting closely related animals. Sometimes also try to introduce new stocks. That's why I say, when I normally get the boa to introduce, even though I have a boa, I'll just purposely get a nice boa and introduce it into my sow. So poor breeding decisions has made a lot of pig farmers to remain unprofitable. You might be like, I'm doing my best. No, you're not doing it right. You can be hitting. You can be okay. For instance, you want to go north and you are going south. Even if you like go a 100 miles, you will not get to north. That is just principle. You need to be in the right direction and apply the rightful momentum. So when it now comes to the grass selection, that is why I always say breeding, for instance, is not just about production. It's an opportunity given to you by nature to be able to get out what you desire, the qualities you desire in the offspring of your animals, using breeding strategies that I explained. I gave a case study where I had a sow that was big but then had a, a poor quality leg. I didn't actually like the leg, so I had to introduce this breeding strategy where I got a male that had prominent legs. When I crossed them, I realized that the offsprings of this sow, most of them, they were like 12. Most of them had good prominent legs. So these are things that you need to understand. These are things you need to understand. Also, when it comes to mating them too early, I'll use that in a case as a case study for sows. Most people try to mate their sows too early. No, certain things should not be rushed. Certain things should be carried out. Like, you need to give time to do its work. When the animal comes on heat, that is a proper time to mate the animal. Please guys, I want you to drop your comments in the comment section. Tell me how many pigs you currently have, and tell me the months by which you mate your sow. It's just a question, okay? Also, I want you guys to do something for me. Aside from getting the course, aside from getting the pig farmers journey, okay, I want you to join the WhatsApp community. I'll be dropping the link of this WhatsApp community in the description box of this video, and equally the link to the book, The Pig Farmer's Journey. Okay, make sure you join the WhatsApp community and equally get this book that and then benefit from the advanced knowledge. You can ask any question from any aspect of pig farming journey, any question both on the breeding, the disease sector, the any sector, the feeding sector, ways by which you can reduce the cost of feeding animals. I will answer you. Okay, I've given you my number, my WhatsApp number. You can equally join the WhatsApp group, ask your questions, and make sure you get the book. Okay, so guys, that's just the sixth mistake, the breeding sector. So once you want to breed, watch the previous videos I've dropped on the breeding aspect. I explained a lot in those videos. Make sure you watch them. So let's go back to the seventh mistake. Yes, here comes a mistake that most pig farmers, I don't know if this is what they enjoy doing. Waiting for an infected pig to become too obvious before they begin prevention. That is why I always say prevention is better than cure. That is why I even have my preventive dose. These are some of the things I talked about in my pig farming journey book. I talked about the preventive dose I employed to avoid my pigs from getting sick. Most pig farmers, they wait for this animal to get sick before beginning to do the necessary things. One thing that will make you a successful farmer is observation, early detection. You need to understand that pig farming is not just about you giving them feed and expecting them to grow and then you sell off. You as a pig farmer, you need to observe, is this pig actually behaving how it's meant to be? Why is it no longer eating very well? Why is it no longer agile? Why is it now behaving in this certain kind of manner? Then you need to understand that there's equally something we call the preventive doses, that includes the vaccinations, a lot of things that will help you to keep your animals immune against some of these unforeseen diseases. So guys, these are some of the things I spoke about in my book, The Pig Farmer's Journey. The Pig Farmer's Journey, yes, is a journey. Is a journey. So please make sure you get it and read. So guys, once you understand this principle, I assure you that you will make a very, very great landmark in the pig farming world. So when it comes to the eighth mistake, I want you to listen very, very well, because this eighth mistake is very delicate. I know that when I say delicate, most of you will be like, what was he about to say again? Hasn't he said up to 7? No. This eighth mistake is something that if you don't get it right, I think you already fail in other mistakes, which is the record keeping. As simple as it sounds, I assure you that if you don't keep records, one, you miss the dates of injection. You will forget the previous dates by which you injected this sow, for instance. Because I have preventive dose, I have steaming up things that I do for my animals, my pregnant ones, the flushing that I do before I mate them, the warming antibiotics, all these things. You need to keep records. Okay, this pen, these winners, when did I inject them last? Oh, you don't keep record, you forgot. Then you now start giving drugs at random. No. But if you kept record, this sow, go and check the record book. Check when we injected them last. Check the next injection that they need. That's what record keeping is. Not just that. We bought feed, we bought 2 tons of PKC last time. When are we buying next? It has finished. How many do you buy last time? Not guessing. This will enable you to know that, I actually spent 1 million naira in this feed in last previous months and in last previous 3 months. How much profit can I make? How much profit will I make if I sell these animals? When you keep records, you'll be able to calculate your inputs and your expected output, the profit you will make. You can then subtract the whole output and inputs. Check if you are making net profit or loss. Record keeping is not just about the drug aspect. It encircles the whole pig farming business. So you as a pig farmer, ensure you keep records to avoid you running a business without principle. Record keeping makes you understand what you're actually doing. So quickly, I will jump over to the ninth mistake, okay, which is very, very important. Okay, so this ninth mistake is very important and dear to me. If you are a young farmer over there, or even an experienced farmer, I want you to begin to see pig farming as it's not just a hobby. there is still a lot of strata to diversify into in this pig farming world. It's a growth journey. Don't remain where you are. It's something that, yes, most times finances limits us to, to actually do things that we want to do. We want to own biggest pig farm and all that, yes, but please, I want you to equally have growth in mind. Have a growth strategy. Okay, this is what I want, that if this pigs fallow, I will sell off this one, keep this one, try to extend my pen. Yes, unforeseen circumstances can arise, but have a growth strategy in your mind, that at least you are working towards this aspect, you're working towards this area, trying to increase your pig farming empire, your pig farming world. I want you to grow in your pig farming journey. Okay, that is why I'm sharing these details with you guys. I'm sharing these details with you guys. That's why I want you to grow. I want your pig farm to be something that you wake up to and be like, yes, I've actually done well for myself. So, guys, I'm going to rush into the 10th mistake. Okay, once I round off this 10th mistake, I'm going to say some things also, and then we'll call it a day. Then you guys can drop your comments and equally join the WhatsApp group and go and read my book and then learn more from my experiences. Okay, so this 10th mistake is as simple as it sounds. Please don't joke with it. You see, water, water is not, you shouldn't joke with it in your farm. Clean water, please, as much as you value the feed you give to your animals, please make sure that you provide adequate and clean water to them, especially in hot seasons. If you want to see a spontaneous growth in your pigs, please apply water to them. Like, even on their body, sometimes there is always a deep bath and all those things in advanced farm. But you that is still growing, please make sure you provide them with water consistently. Water should not dry up in their pen. You can, some people use advanced technologies like the nipple system, but if you don't have that, make use of what you have, but make sure that you provide water for your animals. Water is a very important thing when it comes to pig farming world. Of course, you know that pigs don't produce, they don't have that pulse that helps them to emit all these heats. So you need to help them by providing this water to regulate their temperature. So please, guys, just do this. I'm very sure that these strategies, these mistakes I've discussed, and the strategies I've equally offered will help you to maximize your profit, maximize your profitability. Okay, when you apply them rightfully. Okay, guys, so like I always say, pig farming can be very profitable, but profit doesn't come from luck. It comes from an intentional application of principles that are trusted, like I just shared with you. When you apply these principles intentionally, I'm very sure that you will see results. Of course, that's what principles are for, because these are things that I've done and these are things that have yielded results. So, guys, please go back to your farm and get these pigs. Okay, get these pigs to order, do the right thing, and then maximize your profit. Okay, guys, so we have come to the end of today's video. So if all the information I shared is going to help in your farm, please make sure you subscribe and equally like this video. Also, use the link I'm going to drop in the description box of this video to get a copy of the pig farmer's journey. Get the copy, learn from the information I have to share, and then benefit your farm. Also, use the link I'm going to drop, the link of the WhatsApp community I created. Join the WhatsApp community and benefit from us. Thank you very much, and God bless you.